Hey, is that Steve at ASUS? What's Steve doing at ASUS? Uh-oh. Do people understand that ASUS does server stuff? That's their Blackwell solution, the NB72, their AI pod GB200 NVL72. Here's ASUS's 1U Grace Hopper system, 1U MGX. So this is the GH200 super chip, 480 gigs of LPDDR5 memory and 96 gigs of HBM3. You have 4 PCIe Gen 5 E1.S systems in the primary SKU, and in the lowest configuration you can get 2 Gen 5 E1.S flash drives. You've also got 2 PCIe Gen 5 and 2 M.2 NVMe 22110. Dual 800 gig interfaces, 2 of them. And you could pack a lot of these in a 44U chassis. So this is our B100 system. You got your 800 gig links, your NVLink fabric, and all the power supplies. Look at the power supplies, look at this. This is an absolutely ridiculous power requirement, but hey, this is what's going to power AI, the HGX B100. GB100, and then 200. 200 to 100, it's going to use a lot more power, so it's going to need a lot more cooling. And look at how much airflow, air capacity you have in this. The main difference for air cooling for the NVIDIA GPUs from this chassis and that one is the wattage of the GPUs. So from B100 to B200, that is quite an upgraded cooling. But this is what you got to do to air cool that much power. And this one is 2 sockets of SP5 with a max TDP of 500 watts. You got 24 DIMM slots. So that's up to DDR5 6400. And you got 20 2.5 hot swap bays, up to. This will hold 8 B200 GPUs with the NVLink NV switch. And then it's got 2 10 gig ports and a management port just for, other connectivity. And this is why the theme of Computex 2024 is AI and AI accessories. Everybody is building systems around AMD's chips. Everybody is building systems around NVIDIA's chips. Everybody is building systems around Intel's chips. And it's not enough. It's not enough capacity. All of these systems, all of the B100, the H100 based systems, the DG200, all of these are sold pretty much through the next year. That's an unprecedented level of demand, and the entire industry has mobilized to try to meet the demand. And that's what we see here at ASUS. And ASUS designs and all of their rack chassis and bringing their special flavor to everything. So yeah, ASUS is helping make all of NVIDIA's line go up too, just like everybody else. In addition to, of course, all the other stuff that ASUS has going on. It's pretty wild stuff. That was Dr. Tech Potato to you. Colorful was also at Computex. Well, I mean, basically everybody's at Computex, but I decided to stop by Colorful because I bought thousands of dollars of memory from them in the past for my TRX 40 and WRX 80 workstations. Colorful is getting in the gaming peripheral game. Well, I've been in the gaming peripheral game for a while, but everything from ITX motherboards and SFX power supplies, small form factor cases. But look, this is a pretty reasonable looking gaming machine with a tiny little, look, that's an iGame display. Look at it, it's so cute. Is it a touch display? Ooh, fancy. So you can take it off and use it kind of like a remote or, oh wow, yeah. Neat. All of your RGB and RGB accessories. AIOs and a whole bunch of things. Special edition gaming PC. And even gaming notebooks. But you know what's probably more my style? The W790 workstation. Look at this, 56 cores, 4 GPUs, dual power supplies, look at all that cooling. They have a side radiator for cooling. So this is something you could overclock your 56-core Xeon and be able to run at like 1,000 watts in this configuration. DDR5 registered error correcting memory, 4 GPUs, and dual power supplies, because you're going to need dual power supplies for your W790 workstation. Did you notice they've also got a radiator in the top? This is the W790 workstation. It's really set up for W3400, but you could run the W2400 in this as well. But 8 memory channels, 6 PCIe slots. This is quite a system. Now this actually, in years gone by, it's like, what is this ridiculousness? Do you really need this? But with registered error correcting DDR5 memory on workstations, memory cooling actually makes more of a difference than most people realize. Especially if you've got the WRX90 platform, this is looking like a pretty good solution for keeping the DDR5 registered ECC DIMMs cool in those workstations. So something like this in that W790 workstation could work really well, and that's a colorful product. So this is Chaintex W790A1. This is really designed for the 3400 series Xeon, and it looks like it's got some overclocking potential, and plenty of PCIe Gen 5 connectivity and lots of connectivity at the front. And look, 4 hard drive bays. Part of the chassis configuration, so nice. And yeah, they've actually got some W790 systems on display. Cooler Master was also at Computex, and I'm really excited about Cooler Master's products, not because of the products, but because they're also going to support OpenPleb, in that they seem to be indicating that they're going to open up some stuff so that we can have open standards for this, that, or the other. I'm in talks with them. It's going to be pretty exciting, but yeah, check out Cooler Master reviews that we've done on the channel, power supplies. They had some new products, some pretty interesting stuff. Didn't have time to cover it all, but I am really excited about OpenPleb and Cooler Master's participation in OpenPleb. If you haven't heard of OpenPleb, I've been working on it, but it's going to be open standards for consumer stuff, the way that Open Compute is doing what it's doing in the server space. So imagine having standardized RGB controllers all the way down to standardized interfaces for your motherboard sensors. And I really want to open up the software that gives you access to all of the telemetry that you get on your motherboard, because I think that'll be really, really good. Look who I ran into.
Hey, 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 hey.
So we were chatting here. It's like we got Intel, we got AMD, and we got NVIDIA. And it has never been more crazy, is what I said.
It's absolutely crazy because you think about it, CPU transitions are happening, GPU transitions are happening, network transitions are happening. We are bringing it all together. And I mean, this is a good time that you came in here. It was mental this morning. I mean, you have to really push people to get and see anything. But super exciting time. And I see so much interest in that, and hopefully all this translates into a lot more useful information and customer demand generation.
I can't believe how fast compute is advancing, but I also can't believe how fast even just networking is computing. We've gone from 100 gig to 800 gig in just like the blink of an eye.
And people are asking like, hey, when is 1600 gig is coming? I was like, okay, what are you going to do and where are you going to put in, right?
I'm going to put the GPU RAM even farther away.
Something like that. But anyway, exciting times. That's all I can say.
It's amazing. So this is the NVIDIA Blackwell. This is the B100 solution. It is large because it is air-cooled. So you've got all the air from the front to the back. You've got E1.S. Well, this is the taller version, isn't it? For better cooling.
The short version.
Do what? Short version, okay. So this is the short version of the E1.S, and then you've also got tons of NVMe storage at the front.
And got 2 NVMe here for boot drive.
And 2 NVMe for boot. Nice. So this is the 8U HGX 8 GPU server, and this is a lot of compute horsepower in a very small package. But this doesn't require anything exotic. This will drop in your existing racks as long as you got the power for it. If the B100 is not enough, you could go B200.
This is our B200.
And so this is the NVIDIA Blackwell architecture. 10U, 8 GPU. Now, how many kilowatts?
About 12 kilowatts.
This one chassis is about 12 kilowatts. But this is going to power all of your computing needs for anything NVIDIA Blackwell. So this is the air-cooled 8 GPU Blackwell, but if you do liquid cooling, it's going to be this big. This is a significant space savings. It's much more compact. It's the same amount of wattage, just liquid cooled, versus air-cooled. And so not to be outdone, you know, Lisa Sue's been here. She's signed the case, but this is a liquid-cooled MI300X. This is going to enable unprecedented MI300 density in the rack because you can get, what, 8 of these. So 64 MI300X water cooling. That's going to be a kilowatt per rack, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or 100 kilowatts.
Around 80 to 100 kilowatts. Yes.
80 to 100 kilowatts. And Lisa Sue has blessed this. That is so amazing. Good job, Supermicro. And of course, Intel solution, Gaudi 2 and Gaudi 3. Now remember, Intel has got the Gaudi 2 on fire sale. So you can pick up a ready-to-go box with 8 Gaudi GPUs and get a lot of inferencing done and use Intel's One API software stack, OpenVINO, everything else you need. But they also have Gaudi 3. Gaudi 3 is going to cost a little bit more. Just the Intel's part of it is $125K, then the rest of the chassis is going to cost a little more. But this is Supermicro's Gaudi 3 solution, and also signed by Pat Gelsinger. It's kind of like celebrity CEO madness. Everybody's going to sign all their stuff, and of course Jensen was here too and signed all his stuff. So fun times. This is the 4U MGX PCIe GPU server based on Intel platform, but it just breaks out all the PCIe into PCBs, but you've got connections at the back for your network connectivity here, and then all the physical room for your GPU, and plenty of cooling at the midboard. We need the 1.6 gigabit links. 800 gig is too slow. ASUS store, I had to stop by because they've got a new product that's really interesting to me, Locker Store. And it starts with the V3 C14 quad-core Ryzen, 16 gigs of ECC DDR5, 4800, it's a SODIMM, 4 bays, 6 bays, and 10 bays. We're going to break this down and take a look at the inside, but you can run 2.5 or 3.5 inch drives in your storage here, but they're also upgradable, and it's also, you know, SODIMM memory, so there's a lot of configurability here. These two have 4 NVMe. They typically have 2 5 gig, 2 10 gig, 4 NVMe plus USB connectivity, and it'll support RAID 5 or 6 or just a bunch of disks plus a spare, and it's got a 3-year warranty. 2 10 gig and 2 5 gig, plus you've also got Type-C, Thunderbolt USB Type 4, as well as 5 gigabit USB Type A.
100 megabits.
The internals look pretty good on the 10 bay. This is very early, so it's not really fully put together yet. This is coming Q4, but dual DDR5 4800, so up to 96 gigabytes, PCIe. You got standard fan connector, standard-ish power supply except for the back plane, but hey, you know, it's not too bad. Somewhere there's 4 NVMe in here. I think they're on the other side of this PCB, but I couldn't visually confirm it. But this is Ryzen embedded with dual 10 gig, dual 25 gig, and USB 4. So you've got some expansion options, which is nice. ASUS also had an updated version of the all-flash NAS I took a look at before, the FS6812X. This also has been upgraded with ECC memory and the Ryzen V3C14 quad core. So even though it's still a quad core, it's modern DDR5 Ryzen quad core. So this is going to be able to run Docker and do some of that off-label stuff we were doing with the last model way better, because that's a lot more CPU horsepower. And we have USB 4 and 10 gigabit. So for a flash-based NAS, I think this is going to be where it's at.
Test. I can go copy, test. Actually, first I'll show you the 128 gig file. So it's, you know, you get the boost performance and the regular performance too. Paste.
Yes, I need it.
Just move that out of the way. And
so this is just dual 20 gig or dual 10 gig?
Dual 10 gig. This is the maximum possible when you take into account all the encoding between Ethernet, PCI Express, and all the other buses that deal with this. This is preliminary performance. Right now, write performance is not satisfactory for us, so we're working on it. We usually get about 10 gig, but I think we need to do that a little bit better.
I'm at Kioxia at Computex 2024, and Kioxia makes everything from consumer flash to enterprise flash and everything in between. Workstation enthusiast flash, you can put that U.2 places that it doesn't belong. And the updates that they've got the BG6. This can now do about 6 gigabytes per second in the 1 and 2 terabyte capacities, but it's the ultimate low power 2230. This is sort of consumer, but then you move up. This is the XD7P E1.S. That's really popular in 1U servers, but there's also the E3.S format, which if you've got room for it, you can get those in really high capacities, up to 60 terabytes. So 60 terabytes in this tiny little thing. Listen, Flash has already taken over the universe from spinning Rust. It's just a distribution problem at this point. And of course the CD8P. Now the CD8 and the CD8P are related in that their workload tuning is a little different between the CD8 and the CD8P. So be sure to check the specifications for drive writes per day, endurance, and all of that. Now we've taken a look at the PM7 before, SAS-based flash, because SAS flash is sort of useful still in the enterprise. You can just throw that in and it's compatible with your existing infrastructure. But we've also got the CM7, which we've taken a look at before, in an E3.S and the U.2 form factor. Kioxia partners are here, Supermicro, Giga Computing with their chassis, and look, you've got NVMe and the option for SAS-based storage. And look, cute little E1.S, it's so tiny. But you can cram so many of them in there. We've also got MeTAC, which is Tyan. We've taken a look at, I think this chassis here before, outfitted with the CM7 Gen 5 storage, and that thing ran like a bat out of hell, so that was nice. Then we've got ASRock, their solution. See, this is the E1.S storage that I'm talking about, where the entire front of the 1U system is E1.S. It's hot swap. You can get pretty good capacity with this. You can run, let's see, this is a Epic Fort 9004, so Genoa or Bergamo in this platform. Although heat dissipation, you probably want to run one of those lower TDP CPUs in this type of a chassis. And then of course you've got configuration down here for U.2 if you'd prefer to have U.2 storage in your enterprise. And then ASUS also has their U.2 chassis. And you can even have high density chassis like this. This is the Puzzle 9040, but it's still a modular front. This one has modular U.2 on the front. There are also business cards here for the Zenner RAID product. This actually looks like a really interesting piece of software. I'm working on getting a demo version of this and this setup, testing it with my CM7 storage. So I think this is going to be a really interesting video if I can get it together. This is a software-based RAID solution, but it is designed for performance as well and data integrity.